The bridge, once a proud symbol of connection and progress, now stands as a silent witness to the brutality of war. Its steel beams twisted and concrete shattered, the structure is now a monument to destruction, an emblem of how quickly peace can be torn apart. Thick, oily black smoke billows upward, staining the pale morning sky and marking the site of a devastating ambush that changed the course of the battle. Below, the river churns relentlessly, its waters swirling with debris, indifferent to the chaos and carnage above. Russian military vehicles caught mid-crossing are now mangled hulks, twisted metal and scorched armor frozen in place by the sudden violence. The convoy, once moving with confidence, has driven straight into a meticulously prepared trap, its momentum shattered in an instant. This was no accident. Every detail was calculated, every movement rehearsed. It was a plan executed with precision, patience, and unshakable nerve. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces hidden in the landscape had been watching for days, tracking enemy patterns, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The bridge itself became bait, transformed from a simple crossing into a deadly trap. The landscape was weaponized, every obstacle part of the plan. The soldiers waited, nerves taut, for the lead vehicles to reach the center, knowing that timing was everything. With one chance, one perfectly timed detonation, the crossing was transformed into a kill zone, vehicles thrown into chaos, the bridge collapsing beneath them. This is how a smaller, agile force can outwit a larger, better-equipped enemy, by turning every road, every bridge, into a potential ambush site, forcing the invaders to second-guess every step. The invaders, confident in their numbers and firepower, believed the crossing would be routine. They thought their strength guaranteed safety. They were wrong. The defenders saw the bridge not as a path, but as a choke point, a place where the enemy could be funneled, slowed, and destroyed. For the Russian soldiers, the sudden collapse was pure terror. For the Ukrainians, it was the culmination of careful preparation. They pored over maps, analyzed surveillance, and anticipated every move. When the moment came, they struck with chilling precision. One push of a button and the trap was sprung. The ruined bridge became a symbol of resistance, a testament to Ukraine's ingenuity and determination. Concrete and steel, repurposed as weapons of defiance. Every step the invaders take is watched. Drones circling overhead, eyes on every movement, every hesitation. Every crossing is a gamble, every bridge a potential death trap. For the invaders, each advance could be their last. The message is unmistakable. No one is safe here. The land itself resists. This is modern warfare at its most cunning, where technology, intelligence, and creativity can turn the tide against brute force. Near Izium, a Russian convoy advanced, confident and unaware. This was not the first time a river crossing would become the stage for a dramatic reversal of fortune. Ukrainian intelligence tracked every move, knowing exactly which bridge the enemy would cross. Throughout history, bridges have been both lifelines and traps, vital for movement, yet perilous when held by the enemy. Under cover of darkness, engineers placed explosives with surgical precision. Their methods echoed tactics used in past conflicts, where timing and placement could decide the fate of entire armies. The goal: collapse the bridge at the perfect moment, trapping the heaviest armor. The heaviest vehicles, once committed, would have no way back. Timing was everything. 1 second off, and the plan would fail. The tension was palpable. Every soldier aware of the stakes. The signal was given. The lead vehicles rolled onto the bridge. The trap was set, just as it had been in countless battles before. A blinding flash, a deafening roar, the bridge buckled, plunging vehicles into the river. The sudden collapse mirrored legendary ambushes from military history, where a single moment changed the course of battle. The convoy was instantly severed, chaos erupting as the front was cut off from the rear. Confusion and panic spread, just as commanders had hoped. Ukrainian forces attacked from all sides, artillery and anti-tank teams striking the immobilized column. This classic pincer movement exploited the enemy's vulnerability, a tactic refined over centuries. The ambush was a stunning success, isolating and destroying the lead elements. The kill zone was unforgiving, leaving little hope for escape. The rest of the convoy, trapped on the open road, became easy targets. With the bridge gone, retreat was impossible. This was not luck, it was tactical brilliance. Every detail had been anticipated, every move calculated. The Izium ambush became a textbook example of how a well-planned operation can neutralize a larger force. Military historians would later compare it to legendary bridge battles of the past. Ukrainian teamwork and timing turned a simple river crossing into a decisive victory. Their coordination was the key to success. The Russians, caught in the kill zone, had no chance to recover. The battlefield was littered with the wreckage of their advance. The landscape, the bridge, and the element of surprise all worked against them. Nature and strategy combined to devastating effect. This is how a smaller army can win, by making every move count. History is filled with examples where cunning outmatched brute force. In modern war, precision beats power. The lessons of Izium will echo for generations. On Kiev's outskirts near Irpin, another ambush unfolded, one that would test the resolve and ingenuity of both sides. Russian forces needed the bridge to encircle the capital, their confidence high as they advanced. But for the Ukrainian defenders, the ruined bridge was not just an obstacle, it was a chance to outthink a stronger foe. With nerves of steel, they let the vanguard cross, then detonated the bridge behind them, severing hope and escape in a single thunderous moment. The Russian armored group was trapped. No retreat, no resupply. Panic and confusion set in as the reality of their isolation dawned. The bridge, meant to be their lifeline, became their prison, a symbol of shattered momentum and lost hope. Ukrainian forces turned the river into a moat, isolating the enemy, and amplifying their sense of helplessness. Artillery, drones, and anti-tank teams rained destruction on the stranded vehicles, each strike a blow to enemy morale and a testament to Ukrainian resolve. The ambush at Irpin halted a major advance and shattered the illusion of an easy victory, sending shockwaves through both armies. It was a turning point in the battle for Kyiv, a moment when hope surged for the defenders and doubt crept into the invaders. The defenders didn't need equal strength, just sharper minds, unbreakable will, and the courage to wait for the perfect moment. The trapped Russians became the hunted, their fear and uncertainty growing with every passing hour. Ukrainian patience and planning paid off, proving that heart and strategy can overcome brute force. The bridge was both a barrier and a weapon, a silent witness to the power of tactical brilliance and emotional resilience. Sometimes, the smartest move is to let the enemy walk into your trap, turning their ambition into their undoing, and their advance into your victory. What does it take to pull off such an operation? It starts with intelligence, layered, relentless, and precise. Ukrainian forces used drones, special forces, satellite feeds, and local informants to track every enemy movement, intercepting radio chatter and piecing together the enemy's intentions. Analysts worked around the clock, cross-referencing intercepted messages and surveillance data to predict convoy routes and likely targets. Patience was key, waiting in silence for the right bridge, the right moment, as tension mounted with every passing minute. Soldiers stayed hidden, disciplined and ready, nerves stretched taut as they listened for the distant rumble of engines. Once the target was confirmed, engineers crept in under the cover of night, planting explosives with trembling precision, every sound amplified in the darkness. They needed expertise and nerves of steel to ensure a sudden total collapse. One mistake, and the mission could be compromised. Working deep in contested territory, they risked everything. One wrong move could mean discovery and disaster. Timing was everything. The commander had to make the call at the perfect moment, heart pounding as the convoy neared the kill zone. Too early or too late, and the opportunity was lost. Seconds could mean the difference between triumph and catastrophe. The pressure was immense, every heartbeat echoing the stakes, but the payoff could change the course of battle. Every detail mattered: intelligence, patience, precision, and nerves of steel. The result? A devastating ambush that could halt an entire army in its tracks, leaving chaos and confusion in its wake. In modern war, information and timing are as deadly as any weapon, sometimes even more so. Why were these ambushes so effective? It's all about chokepoints, a concept as old as warfare itself. Throughout history, bridges have forced armies into narrow, predictable lines, stripping away their ability to maneuver or deploy en masse. In World War II, the Battle of Remagen and the crossing at Arnhem showed how bridges could decide the fate of entire campaigns. Destroying a bridge can halt an advancing column instantly, trapping vehicles and cutting off retreat, just as seen at the Falaise Pocket in 1944. The chaos and confusion at these choke points give defenders a critical window to strike, a tactic used from the ancient Battle of Thermopylae to modern Ukraine. Ukrainian anti-tank teams, artillery, and infantry opened fire from concealed positions, echoing the ambushes of the Korean War's Izium River crossings. The bridge itself became a weapon, an engineered trap, not just a crossing. The Russians' numerical advantage turned into a liability, as their vehicles became easy targets, much like the German columns at the Ludendorff Bridge. On a bridge, even the most powerful force is reduced to a vulnerable line of targets. Ukraine updated this classic tactic with modern surveillance, drones and real-time intelligence, amplifying the ambush's lethality. The result? Devastating losses for the invaders, reminiscent of historic bridge battles where entire units were wiped out. The defenders dictated the terms of battle, just as generals have sought to do at river crossings for centuries. In the end, the bridge was the perfect trap, a timeless lesson in military strategy, now updated for the 21st century. The real lesson? In modern warfare, planning beats brute force. The bridge ambushes at Izium and Irpin were masterclasses in tactical precision. Intelligence, engineering, and timing created unfair fights in Ukraine's favor. Every part of the team mattered, from analysts to engineers to artillery. The psychological impact was huge. Every bridge became a potential death trap for the invaders. It slowed their advance and gave defenders time to prepare. These operations saved lives and changed the course of the conflict. Ukraine's military proved adaptable and creative under pressure. With the right strategy, a bridge isn't just a crossing, it's where an army can be broken. Ingenuity and resolve can turn the tide of war. The brilliance of these operations lies in their meticulous planning and flawless execution. Combining traditional military skills with modern technology, Ukraine's forces showcased a new era of warfare. Their success is a testament to the power of innovation, teamwork, and unwavering determination. After the smoke cleared and the echoes of battle faded, the true challenge began. Rebuilding. Destroyed bridges left scars not just on the landscape but on the lives of those who depended on them. For local communities, these crossings were lifelines, connecting families, delivering aid, and supporting the rhythms of daily life. Engineers and volunteers worked side by side, racing against time and uncertainty. Temporary structures rose from the rubble, restoring vital links for civilians and humanitarian convoys. Each beam laid and every plank secured was a small act of defiance, a promise that life would go on despite the devastation. International partners sent materials and expertise, while local hands provided determination and hope. The reconstruction was more than just physical repair, it was a symbol of resilience and unity. As bridges reconnected towns and villages, they also helped heal the wounds of war. In the aftermath of destruction, Ukraine's spirit endured. The rebuilt bridges stood not only as feats of engineering, but as monuments to the strength and perseverance of a nation unwilling to be divided. Ukraine's tactical use of bridges in warfare did more than shape its own battlefields. It sent ripples across the globe. Military strategists, engineers, and policymakers from distant continents watched closely, studying every calculated collapse and bold reconstruction. The lessons learned went beyond tactics. They redefined how nations think about infrastructure in conflict zones. Countries began reassessing the vulnerability of their own critical crossings. Training manuals were rewritten, emphasizing agility, adaptability, and the dual nature of infrastructure as both asset and target. Humanitarian organizations realized the importance of rapid response engineering teams, ready to restore lifelines when bridges fall. And for ordinary people everywhere, Ukraine's story became a testament to the power of resilience in the face of adversity. The world saw that bridges are more than metal and stone. They are symbols of connection, hope, and survival. Ukraine's experience became a blueprint, reminding us that in war and peace alike, the structures we build and rebuild can change the course of history.